Hello everyone, welcome to Telugu One Academy. Friends, today we will be talking the topic of security and challenges in the border areas. From that we have already completed our first session regarding what all are the land boundaries of India, and in that we have also completed the topic of China. So today we will be doing more about the different land bordering countries and what are the issues we are having with those land bordering countries. And Pakistan, and when it comes to coastal security, we will have a separate class because they need to be dealt very elaboratively. Now coming to the topic, the first topic for the day regarding security challenges at the border areas, that is Indo-Bangladesh border. Here in the map you can observe that we have a large border. Okay, India has the largest boundary with Bangladesh when compared to all other its boundary states. Okay, this is such a large border, and in India you have to even observe for exclusively for your mapping purpose in your prelims, should also focus what are the bordering states. When you see the bordering states, the first bordering state is West Bengal. With West Bengal, Bangladesh, Assam, Tripura and even Mizoram share border with Bangladesh. When you compare Bangladesh, my friends, Bangladesh was erstwhile before 1971 it was East Pakistan. East Pakistan. After Bangladesh Liberation War in 1971, the Bangladesh came into existence. So since then, because we have supported the Bangladesh Liberation War and we even sent our forces to support them, so that's why the relations with Bangladesh are very positive towards India in the later times of Bangladesh when compared to erstwhile East Pakistan. So as I said you, this is very big border. So let's see into that. So India shares approximately around 4,000 change, okay, it can be 4,096 kilometers of land border with Bangladesh. As it's already shown you that West Bengal, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram are the bordering states. The entire stretch which you have seen in the map as I showed you is not a monolith, or it is a very undulating terrain which has rivers, mountains, dense populated areas and even sometimes dense forests also are present. Like you see, plains are there, riverines are there, jungles and hilly areas which are hardly any natural obstacles. They are heavily populated because you see pre-independent India, Bangladesh was also part of West Bengal, then called whole Bengal. Okay, when this Bengal region was hugely populated, even now it is densely populated region. Okay, at many stretches the cultivation is carried out till the last inch of the border. The border was drawn by Bengal Boundary Commission chaired by Sir Cyril Radcliffe Commission. Okay, Radcliffe was a person who has drawn the boundary. Okay, what are the major issues you have across this Bangladesh border? We will also learn what exactly does the exchange of enclaves or enclaves within enclaves issue what we face with Bangladesh. So first thing is illegal migration since 1971 after Bangladesh Liberation War to escape from the army, to escape from the brutal killings of army. Many people have entered into India, especially they have entered into the northeast region. Because of their entry into the northeast region, there was changes in the demography of northeast region and also rise in the insurgency in the northeast region, saying that these non-local people are taking our rights, our economic benefits. Because of this issue, we see insurgency happening and sometimes even these people are being attacked or targeted. And we also come across issue of National Registry of Citizens, especially to put out the people who have migrated illegally into India. Next, according to a task force on border management which was established or projected in 2001, it says around 15 million Bangladeshis have migrated into India, and annually this migration rate has increased around 3 lakhs per month. And I also said you that Myanmar, we have also a border with Myanmar. When you see the Myanmar is facing with a different issue. It has also army taking place, and beyond that we have Rohingya crisis taking place. Okay, Rohingya crisis. Though this Rohingya region do not have border with India, so they are very closely attached to the Cox's Bazar region or Chittagong Hills region of Bangladesh. So what happened, these Rohingyas have been, because they are all persecuted Muslim minorities in Myanmar, they enter into Bangladesh, and through Bangladesh they have been entering into mainland of India. That also includes the illegal migration and issues of Rohingya all over India. Even this Bangladesh region is also prone to narcotics because it is very closer to the golden triangle which is present across Myanmar Thailand border. Okay, trafficking of narcotics, drugs and goods like jamdani saris, rice, salts and etc. also takes place. Rohingya crisis, as I said you, and as I said you, this is very undulating terrain and very hard to fence. So there are large number of areas which are unfenced, okay, which we did not fence, and we haven't invested enough to maintain a modern border management system by using laser technology or comprehensive integrated border management systems are not accurately implemented in this region. Because of this, there has been cross-border infiltration in this region a lot of times. Next, even cattle are being smuggled into India. There has been said that border security force personnel are taking bribery. When CBI inquiry was conducted in the year 2017, around like that, then they have said, CBI has said that BSF personnel will be taking around rupees 2000 for one cattle to enter into India or from India into Bangladesh. Basically, my friends, Bangladesh is a Muslim country. So what happens, all the excess cattle which is present in India, because as India, most of the people do not take the meat of cattle, especially cow and buffalo. But most of the people in Bangladesh whose daily diet is based on cattle related meat, because you see there are many poor people in Bangladesh who are specially dependent on this cheaper cattle meat. So if this smuggling of cattle stops, then those people will have a lot of hunger in their country, because population is very huge in Bangladesh. Next, it is said that if India restricts their supply, then it can starve Bangladeshis of food. Cattle far from Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar is taken to borders for grazing and then smuggled into Bangladesh, and Bangladesh also imposes custom duty on the cattle which is entering. And we have also threat from Bangladesh, as when you have learned about insurgency in Northeast India, we have seen most of the insurgent groups pre-Bangladesh formation, they had their exile governments, not just exile governments, they had their training, locations in Bangladesh. Even today, most of the groups like United Liberation Front of Assam and Naga Socialistic Council and Manipur based insurgent groups have their safe havens in Bangladesh. That is also one of the issue. And due to poverty and lack of employment in Bangladesh, lot of people enter into India. That is also an issue. And we have also river sharing disputes. Though we had able to settle river sharing of Ganga previously, yet we have another issue, that is Teesta water issue. Okay, Teesta water issue. This Teesta river flows from India. Okay, it is a Himalayan based river. It flows from India through Sikkim, West Bengal, and then enters into Bangladesh. So we had continuous talks, but talks haven't fruitified. But still, the steps taken by Government of India regarding sharing of river water or transboundary river water has been very friendful towards Bangladesh, and relations have been far improving because change in regime inside the Bangladesh. So still we have some other issues with Bangladesh, because across the border, the core Islamic tendency and the ideologies of Islamic State of Iraq and Syria imbibed into the Bangladesh side, there are chances, especially at the chicken neck, that is Siliguri corridor, which could be blocked by this core Wahhabi Muslim segments, which is said by analysts. So then, fake currency notes have also been across, and even as I said you, organized crime, which includes trafficking of cattle, trafficking of peoples, you see, creating fake passports and making them to come into India and live here. So all this is happening, and Bangladesh, even women trafficking is very high, especially for the purpose of prostitution. Okay. So as I told you, Bangladesh and India has a long border, and it also faces a very peculiar issue which no other border in the world faces. This is the most unique border. Let me show you the figure before I explain you the issue. When you see this figure, this is Bangladesh. This is Bangladesh. This is our border with Bangladesh. Such a border. You see such a complex border. Within this border, there are enclaves. What are these enclaves, my friend? Enclave is nothing but land within a land. Land within a land. Our territory lying in their territory. You see. So, if you see these blue dots, blue dot, blue dot, blue dot, blue dot, these blue dots are nothing but Indian territory. These are all Indian people or Indian territory which India claim are inside the Bangladesh land. India land which is inside the Bangladesh land. Now when you see these green lands, green, 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 green and green, these are all Bangladeshi lands which are inside India. Bangladeshi lands which are inside the India. Imagine the status of these people. If this person who considers himself as Indian, a person living in this area, want to travel to West Bengal, which is an Indian territory, he has to have passport to cross this area. Just you see, he is surrounded totally by Bangladesh. Even the same issue with Bangladeshis who are within India. So to resolve this issue, we had taken a land boundary agreement in the year 2015, which was successfully implemented by exchange of enclaves. We have exchanged around 111 enclaves. We gave our 111 enclaves to the Bangladesh. That is, we gave off our sovereignty of these areas. We gave off. Why did we give off our sovereignty for such large area? We have given 111 enclaves, they have just given us 51 only. They have just given us around 20,000 square kilometers. We have given up around 1 lakh square kilometers. Why such an area I am sacrificing? Just because, my friend, our India wants a friendly relationship and with its neighborhood first policy, and also to establish and for the goodwill of the people living in this area, to give them an identity. You know, these people who are living in these enclaves, they lack their identity, that which country do they belong to. They do not get the welfare schemes which are provided by the respective governments. Okay, to provide all these necessities, we thought this is very essential for the purpose of goodwill and for the purpose of betterment of the people who we consider as Indians to have better policy or life. Now coming back to the land boundary agreement, my friends, land boundary agreement with Bangladesh was happened long back when Mujibur Rahman was the Prime Minister or President of Bangladesh long back in 1972 itself. But we haven't yet ratified till the year 2014-15. Okay, but Bangladesh has ratified its land boundary agreement in 1974 itself. Because, my friends, we can acquire a territory according to the constitution, but to give away the territory of India, a constitutional amendment is needed, as it is said in the Berubari Union case. Okay, so to give away, we have amended our constitution accordingly. Okay, by you can see that whole thing. There are around 162 Indian enclaves which were there. We have now exchanged around 11 border enclaves with Bangladesh. Okay, it gives the citizenship to over 50,000 peoples. Bangladesh gave us 51 enclaves. All these I have explained you. Okay, 71 Bangladeshi, those. Okay, you see there are also enclaves inside enclaves like this. This is India. Okay, again this is Bangladesh. Again this became India. Imagine such a complex mapping, nowhere it exists. So that's what I said. Inside those enclaves, there are also 28 counter enclaves and one counter enclave. See, you see, enclave, inside an enclave and inside an enclave like this. India, Bangladesh, India, again India, inside India you will have one more Bangladesh like this. Small Bangladesh, small Bangladesh. Such a complex territories were also exchanged in this whole agreement. One of such complex enclave is Dahal region. Okay, if anyone is interested to watch these enclave maps, there are various websites you can see, my friends. Please go through the internet also. So this is what the land boundary agreement between India and Bangladesh. Apart from that, as I told you, we made an amendment to the constitution, that is nothing but 119th Amendment Act of 2013 sought to ratify the land boundary agreement between two countries. As I told, it ratified in 1974. 1972 itself with Mujibur Rahmanji we have made that agreement. Okay. Now in 2014 we were successfully able to do that. What are the key features? What are the key features? I told you already. There are few issues also in this exchange of enclaves, because you see most of the exchange of enclaves are inhabited by tribal people, and some of the northeast tribal people have been opposing this enclave exchange. They say this is wrong, as we are giving more number of enclaves for less number of enclaves, and all that has been reduced. So you see less, and northeast region swapping takes away the land rights, leaving the tribes with vulnerability. Current status, it was passed. See, while India get only just 5-10 acres of land, around 10,000 acres of land is given. Okay, if I have said some wrong in the square kilometers, I am really sorry, but please note down this. Okay. Next, what are the implications of this agreement? You see, it would give the stateless citizens by granting them citizenship. It can give development into these underdeveloped areas, and this reduces the smuggling and criminal acts across the border. This would keep increase in the connectivity to Southeast Asia, and northeastern policy also will be survived. So what are the other initiatives which were taken across the border areas, so that we have a good relationship with the people who are living across the border? You know, my friends, when I'll also be teaching in this border, after completing the border relation with each state, what are the basic initiatives which are needed, so that you see border area people or people living across the border, they face very unique and different challenges. So to go beyond those challenges, various initiatives have been taken place to protect, to make the life easier and better, and even make more stringent of our border protection. So the government has announced establishment of border protection grid, that is nothing but having a holistic approach with use of police, army and border security force. As I said you, my friend, from 2004, after Kargil Review Committee, in 2004, the Government of India under group of ministers have said each border should have one guarding force. One border, one force. One border, one force. Under this one border, one force, the Indo-Bangladesh border will be guarded by Border Security Force, BSF. Remember this, remember this. Who will be guarding our Indo-Bangladesh border? It is Border Security Force. So installation of border surveillance devices. We have also planning to implement comprehensive integrated border management system, CIMBS. CIMBS is nothing but utilizing modern technology to maintain the border. Okay, I will also discuss this elaboratively. Next, we have also established border huts, where people across the border can come to an area where they can establish their market and exchange their goods with currency exchange also, where the trade can be carried out using both Indian rupee or Bangladeshi currency. Next, as I told you, in the under CIMBS program itself, we have another program called Border Project Bolt Quit. That is nothing but Border Electronically Dominated Quick QRT technique, inception technique. That is nothing but using laser technology or most modern computerized technology to maintain border, especially in the areas where there are riverine tracts. So even this project we have started. Even we have been constructing roads across the border, and integrated border checkpost. Integrated border checkposts are nothing but those are border checks where the customs department, IT department, narcotics in customs, even border police. So different departments have a base at this border. Okay, they have also been established across the border. Even recently, Narendra Modi ji and the counterpart of Bangladesh have also launched new integrated border security border posts, which will increase the border connectivity and smoother trade with India. Because you see, any border to be prosperous, the trade should be very regulated in a manner, because illegal transfer of goods is an economic loss for both the countries. As we have larger trade relation with Bangladesh, we need to have such an integrated check post a lot. Border forces of two countries also undertake joint exercises like Sundarbans Moietry, okay, or Sundarbans Alliance. Friends, Bangladesh is very clear about its international policy, because border is nothing but related with international policy. So Bangladesh is taking part in Belt and Road Initiative of China, okay, under string of pearls, the Chittagong port, Chittagong port of Bangladesh is also being developed by China. So because of this increase in Chinese inroads and increase of Chinese counterfeits coming into Bangladesh, we have to have a forward policy and have a careful policy with Bangladesh, and we should maintain this cooperative tandem with Bangladesh, so that there is no clash and Bangladesh does not incline towards China, because neighborhood is always important to protect the interest of India. Now we come to the next Indo-India land border, that is with Indo-Nepal land border. Most of the time, Indo-Nepal land border was a peaceful land border, because Indo-Nepal is an open border, and the force which protects the Indo-Nepal is called Sahastra Seema Bal or SSB, Sahastra Seema Bal. Okay, I have also thought what exactly is the mandate of Sahastra Seema Bal in various security forces. Here you can see the bordering states of Nepal. Bordering states of Nepal include Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Sikkim, and you do not have a border with what you say West Bengal. Here you can see small border. So you see Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal is also having a small touch here. You have here. An estimate of 6 million Nepalis live and work across India. We have a perpetual friendship treaty which you will be learning in international relation. Because of this treaty, both the people can live, buy land, do trade, commerce in India and in Nepal eventually. So this also sometimes causes disturbance. Both sides claim that Indians are dominating by buying more and more land in Nepal. Thus, we are deprived of land and resources in our country. Even Indians across the border claim that Nepalis are coming and claiming lot of land in this region. They also say. So, Indo-Nepal border is based on a Sigauli Treaty, which was signed in the year 1816, a long back treaty by the British. This is wholly based on the Sigauli Treaty. Though our border is open, though we are peaceful, we have some issues with the border. Either it is with regard to Kalapani, Kalapani territory dispute, or new maps which are made by Nepal. Let me tell you few points with regard to international relations also, because it is very important to note. What happened is Nepal was not much successful state as it has established, because it has the communist party regime, and it had to change its constitution twice and thrice, and there was no stability in the government, and people were not happy with whatever happening in the state. What happened then, to divert the issue, to make the issue to be on the sided with India, the border dispute has been raised by the Nepal to counter India. And though India also had ups and downs in its relation, because of closing border, when there was an insurgency rise in Nepal, we have closed our border with Nepal, and then there was a crisis of cooking gas which was happening in Nepal. And there was also a claim that India is going and taking away the hydroelectric power of Nepalis, and nothing Nepalis are getting in return. So because of all this, to divert this issue, sometimes this what happened, Nepali counterparts push everything on India so that they divert their internal issues on an international arena. So this causes a small insurgency field within the Nepalis. Okay. Apart from this, as we have open border, so open borders since 1950, Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Okay, this is the major treaty of 1950 which we have signed, which deals with this. Okay, according to this treaty, wherein the citizens of both countries are given equal rights in matter of residence, acquisition of property, employment, movement in each other territories, provide for open border between the two countries. Free movement of people across the border and strong people-to-people tie-up. This base of good relationship is due to Friendship Treaty of 1950. As you know, my friends, India and Nepal are not just linked by borders, but we have ethnicity linkages, we have linkages historically. So that's why this is working. So it was a great facility, anytime you can come and go. But there is also a problem with this open border. What happens, most of the insurgent groups who want to travel to China use this open border as a resource, and they fled off from the country. So that's what happening. Anyone who want to flee from the country, they directly go to the Nepal border. From there they will flee to the other country. So they escape from the Indian security forces or police forces who have been convicted. This happened in major cases which was in India. And even most of the insurgent groups of what you can say Northeast India have also been using Nepal as a transit. And even it has bases of some insurgent groups, and Maoist groups or red wing groups also go to Nepal for their regular training. This also happens. There are disputes over some areas, that is shifting course of Himalayan river Kalapani and Susta dispute. I will discuss this in detail now. Allegations of excess such as intimidation and forcible grabbing of land by either side. Many terrorist organizations and Naxalites have fully exploited this open border with Nepal, as I told you. Open border with Nepal facilitate movement of terrorist and insurgent groups, and even Islamic State groups have been organizing this route to rise the insurgency in our country. Many criminals on both sides have been escaped. That is also an important point I have covered. So what happened in the year 2020, Nepal has released its new map, which has claimed few of the territories of India. Those include the Lipu Lake, Kalapani, Limpudhar and Lipu Lake regions of Uttarakhand. Here you can see the Kalapani Lipu Lake region. So what exactly happens was, according to Sigauli Treaty, the western part of Kalapani was given to the Indian territory. So what happens, Kalapani is an Himalayan river. As you know, Himalayan rivers bring lot of silt with them. What happens, it always changes its course. If this is the first year course, the next year the river might go like this. The river might go like this, or sometimes it might even come within the India side. So Nepal says, because of this changing course, I want this whole area. But our country has never said that we will be giving this area, because we have claimed that Kalapani belongs and Lipudiyar and Lipu Lake Pass also belongs to India. This issue rise very new, this Susta river. Okay, Susta river or Susta region, which is present in Bihar, my friends, has been shown in the map of the new map of Nepal, claiming that this also belongs to us. So what exactly are these? I will show you in the map. So Susta region, as I told you, which is the change in the course of Gandak river is the main reason for the dispute in Susta area. This Susta area is present here. Okay, this is Gorakhpur. You can see near, it is very near to Nepal, and it is very near to Bihar. Susta is located on the bank of river Gandak. It is called Narayani river in Nepal, and it joins the Ganga in Patna, Bihar. So what happened, even this river changes its course. So Nepal says the river goes like this now, so this is our area. But previously river used to go like this. As I said you, most of the Himalayan rivers, because of their siltation, they change regularly their courses. That's why you see sorrow of Bengal, all that terminology is coming because of their change in courses and frequent flooding in the region. Okay. Now next we will see the next border, that is Indo-Bhutan border. Even with Bhutan, here you can see the region of Bhutan, which has borders with Sikkim, with Bangladesh, with the West Bengal, with Assam. It has borders even with Arunachal Pradesh. So these are the border lying areas. Even with Bhutan, we have an open border, and most of the time border with Bhutan has been a peaceful, apart where northeast insurgent groups erstwhile had their bases of training in Bhutan, but because of the cooperation with the Bhutanese forces, Operation All Out was conducted, and most of these insurgent groups territories or training centers were captured and destroyed, and Bhutan as an safe haven for insurgency group was successfully destroyed. The border between Bhutan and China is not demarcated, so China had that issue. So even we had a border dispute, a tripartite border dispute with China, that I have discussed in China border issue itself. That was regarding Chumbi Valley issue, where Bhutan was having that border. But luckily, my friends, because of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, even with Bhutan we have the same treaty, though we have modified it later in 1970s. According to that treaty, Bhutan has been using Indian armed forces to protect its border. Accordingly, we have protected Bhutan from Chinese ingression in the region of Chumbi Valley, which is a tripartite junction with India, Nepal, Bhutan, having in its whole nature. Okay, there is a border dispute over Doklam. This is the Doklam crisis, I said, Chumbi Valley. Dangerously close to the chicken neck and can jeopardize the security of whole northeast. So what China is trying, China want this Doklam region from Bhutan so that it can attack on the northeastern connectivity corridor, that is Siliguri corridor. Insurgent groups such as Bodos, Ulfas sneak into Bhutan for sanctuaries. Smuggling of goods such as Bhutanese cannabis, liquor and forest products from Bhutan into India, and livestock, grocery items and fruits from India to Bhutan. Free movement of people and vehicles is there. Migration triggers the fear of change in demography on both sides of border. Migrants are also accused of deforestation, poaching and wildlife smuggling, because you see Bhutan is a carbon negative country, that is there are more number of plants than they emit. So because of that, there are large biodiversity existing in Bhutan, which is being exploited for export into China, which uses most of this biodiversity in their medicinal sciences. As I already told you, to clear the insurgent groups in Bhutan, we have already started an Operation All Clear, and it was a successful thing. And we have good border management and security. Okay, Government of India has also approved the construction of around 313 km of road in Assam along Indo-Bhutan border so as to improve the trade. Even if you consider the international relationship Bhutan, are very friendly. Apart, we also use their hydroelectric power. Narendra Modi ji in his first term, the first visit to a neighboring country, it was Bhutan, and it was a very prosperous event also. The Union Environment Ministry has given general approval for the diversion of forest land for major border infrastructure projects along the eastern border with Bhutan, Myanmar and Nepal. Establishment of new border outpost in Sikkim and Bhutan frontiers near Doklam. Establishment of new intelligence section in Sahasrasima Bal so as to counter the ingression of Chinese forces. So one you need to know is that even this Indo-Bhutan border, Indo-Bhutan, this is guarded by which force, my friend? This is guarded by Sahasrasima Bal, that is SSB. Please remember each force for each border. Now we come to the next border, that is Indo-Myanmar border. Almost each northeast state has a border with Myanmar, starting from Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur and Mizoram. All these northeast states have larger border with our Myanmar, the neighboring state. Erstwhile, Myanmar was a part of British India, though it was later segregated and Burma was formed. Because of military rule, and recent news, if you are following, when the leader or the supreme leader of Myanmar, the Aung San Suu Kyi, was arrested or detained because of persecution by armed forces and rise in insurgency in the region, most of the people have crossed the border, because even Indo-Myanmar border is not largely fenced and it is mostly open. And what the issues which we face with Indo-Myanmar border are similar, that is most of the insurgent groups, especially the Naga insurgent groups, and in Naga within Naga National Socialistic Council of Naga, Kaplang group NSCNK is based within the Myanmar, so that also poses you challenge. Okay, we have to see more about this. You see, Myanmar shares a long border over 1600 kilometers. In an average 16-19 kilometers is the border with India, and it also shares a maritime boundary in Bay of Bengal. The northeastern states, as I showed you, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland and Manipur shares the border. Both countries share a heritage. Okay, even ethnicity across the border is also very similar. That's why we had a free trade regime where the border people can come and grow across a little bit of area which is spread around 10 kilometers. Across this 10 kilometers, anyone can come and grow. But beyond this 10 kilometers, they need to have a passport and permission or visa to get into India. Okay, there are only few disputed pockets and the boundary is properly demarcated. We do not have much of the boundary issue here. The difficult terrain and presence of dense forests create hurdle to border guarding force. Now one important point, my friend, which force guards this Indo-Myanmar border? This is guarded by Assam Rifles. Okay, but the government has also given it to the border security force. Mostly I can say Assam Rifles. We will put it for Assam Rifles. Okay, border security force is also inactive. The problem of insurgency and intertribal conflicts and no fencing between the boundary of India and Myanmar provides easy safe havens and poor infrastructure facility at More, which is a border check post where we have trade, and Zonkawatra. Okay, if I am pronouncing right wrong, I am sorry. The two designated point for normal trade and border trade. As northeastern India is close to the area of Golden Triangle, the region is affected by drug trafficking also. So we have a free movement regime, what I said you. That is, insurgents are misusing this free movement regime to cross over Myanmar. There is also drug trade due to closeness to proximity to Golden Triangle, weak borders are practically no physical barrier, there is smuggling, okay. All this is happening across Indo-Myanmar border. So my friends, here we come to an end of this session where we have learned about almost Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan and Myanmar. This is the status which we have present, and Myanmar is almost peaceful border without any dispute, I mean to say. But apart from dispute, insurgents were using this free movement regime to hide. So friends, in our next class, we will learn more about the border. We will also learn about the Indo-Pakistan Comprehensive Integrated Border Management and what exactly is Land Port Authority and what initiatives you need to bring so that holistically you can improve the border management in India. So friends, I would like to take a leave. So I hope you understood my class. So thank you for watching my video. This is Nikhil from Telugu One Academy. Thank you.